Okay, that looks good. Evening, I think we're working. Let's have a look, have we got any volume? Looks like it. As usual, if we're working, please give us a thumbs up under the video or type something in the comments. It seems like ages since I've done this. I've kind of forgotten how things work. So let's just give it a second or two, see if we get any response from anybody, and then let's have a look, see. I think everything's all right. Nothing much coming out of my end though, which is a bit worrying. Aha, hello. Excellent, we're working. Marvellous. Evening. Hope you all had a jolly Christmas. Excuse me. Yeah, I've been, sort of had a few days away from the computer. Just in Christmas mode, look. Thought I'd have some Tom and Jerry for a change, so the Mickey Mouse. Yeah. So just sort of catching up today with stuff again. And getting back into the swing of it. So yeah, there's not, I was going to say there's not, actually I just listed a few coins today, with a whole load more coins to go on tomorrow. Also, oh no, wrong, new sales, here we are. Yeah, I mentioned before Christmas there's a whole load of coins coming in, sorted out into years. And here's some of them. I put up some pennies today, lots of 100. We've got years 1962 to 1967. So if any of those years mean something to you in particular, birthday year or something, or apparently there was some big football match in 1966, so people keep telling me. Don't do football, anyway, whatever. So if you've got a football machine, maybe, you know, 1966 pennies might suit that quite well. There's a whole load of sixpences, which I'll put on tomorrow. I think there's every year from 53 to 67, I believe. I haven't actually checked all the bags in the box, but I think there's every single year from 53 to 67. Again in hundreds. And I've got some other lots in from some other people. There's some, I think we've got all the American coins to go on. There's various tokens and things as well to go up. I think there's some 3Ds, I seem to remember, I've seen. Yeah, anyway, so that's tomorrow's project, is to round up all the coins and get all those on, and start on the spares as well. There's a whole load of spares to do. This stuff now I'm listing to end on the 9th, I think, yeah. So anything I'll list in the next day or two will end on the 9th of January, and then we'll get, you know, sort of round up all these smaller bits, coins, spares, got some books, there's a whole lot of circus programs to do. All those sort of smaller, cheaper items. And then we'll get back into the swing of it with some machines and stuff, probably from next week, hopefully. There's a few odd machines that didn't sell before the last sale before Christmas. We'll pop them on again. I think there was 2 or 3 of the electromechanical machines, if I remember rightly. And what else was it? Brian's machine, was it? I think it might have been a Brian's Allwin or something. Evening, Peter. Anyway, whatever there was, they're still here, so they'll go on again. Probably to end the next week, I should think, by the time I get them on, which would be the, where are we? Where's my diary gone? The 16th, sounds about right. Yeah, so just keep an eye out over the next few days for stuff going on. Alan the carrier has sent through his dates for the next 2 or 3 months, so I'll get those updated as well tomorrow, probably sometime. He's here sort of a couple of times a month. I noticed on his schedule as well, he's going right up into Scotland, the northeast and northwest. So if you're all the way up there, and you've either bought stuff you need to get delivered, or if you've got stuff to consign to send in, then Alan can pick it up when he's up there and bring it down to us. So have a rummage in the shed, see what you've got to sell, and we'll go from there. So I'm also been working, which is why there's sort of nothing appears to have happened to the website the past few days. I've been doing a couple of odd little bits in the background, get the toy section ready to go up, circus stuff, shop fitting stuff, things like cash registers, shop cabinets, you know, Victorian shop fittings and scales and weights and all that sort of stuff. All stuff we've sold in the past. So I've sorted all the results out into different sections. They're all uploaded in the background, or you can't see them at the minute. And all the images to go with them, etc. What else? Americana. And the horrors thing, which I'm sort of recategorising what we used to do in the auction of horrors, which is all like taxidermy stuff and ethnographic stuff and gothic-y kind of furnishings and all that kind of stuff. Because there's a load here which we were going to do in October, but then didn't, because one thing or another I got busy with that TV job, and it just didn't happen. So we'll crack on with that as well in the next week or so. I've also been thinking, a couple of people asked me, am I going to do something on New Year's Eve, i.e. stream-wise, because it's Friday night and we'd normally do video. So yeah, I think we will. I'm thinking we might do a bit of a giveaway thing. Give away some bottles of whiskey and some, that's very Hogmanay-ish, isn't it? And some month memberships to the website and anything else I can think of, really. So stay tuned for that. I'll put something on the website and put it out in an email to everybody as well. I forgot today to stick out an email to say I was doing a live stream tonight, which is probably why there's not many people logged on. But never mind. Thank you those who have joined us. Yes, I'm thinking if we do Friday night and see the new year in, if anybody wants to. That's a bugger all on television other than woke bollocks. Boris with these stupid rules, which we'll all ignore, hopefully. So yeah, we might do like, maybe start a bit later, perhaps start 9 o'clock-ish, go till like, you know, 12:30 or something. I'm not sure I can quite work it yet to do like a free raffle somehow or other. I think we'd have to do it. Because what I see from my screen, I can't really show you my screen. You'll know if you do YouTube things, but it tells me how many people are logged in. But I don't know who's logged in unless you put something in the comments. So I've been trying to think, I was thinking a little while ago how we can make this work. What we'd have to do is if people put in the comments enter raffle or something, then I know, and then I can stick your name, literally write it on a bit of paper, drop it in a pot or something, and then we could draw it out at midnight and we'll have some, it might be a bit of fun. If anybody can think, somebody said to do a quiz. Not quite sure how we can make that work again, really. But I'll think on that one. And see what other interesting things we can find to look at. I've got here a whole load. Paul Mitchell, when I was down filming him just before Christmas for the DVD, he gave me a carrier bag full of photographs to go through to hopefully fill in some of the gaps of stuff that we haven't got on the website, where we're missing pictures of things, and also obviously to find pictures I need to put into the DVD to show some of his machines, perhaps machines that he's no longer got, or machines which are now fully restored, but he's got photographs of them when they were in the right state when he bought them and that kind of thing. So I need to get them into the computer for that anyway. Evening, David. But hopefully there'll be some interesting things in there, so we can have a look through some of those, perhaps a bit of a chin wag on those. And I might see if I can get a few more archivey bits sorted out as well. If you haven't looked lately on the old cup of tea page, under the archive button, a couple of weeks ago was it now, I put up all this Brian's stuff that name has now escaped me. Think of it in a minute. Collected up anyway. Any of these, if you click on something, let's click on the penning around, that stands out because it's bright red. Takes you to the penning around page, and you'll see there anything to do with the penning around is in the archive section. I could do with making these, scroll down a bit so you can actually see it on the screen. So I need to adjust my screen size a bit so I see what you're seeing. There we are, that's better. Yeah, so it's now in the archive section. I need to make these headings a bit bolder, don't I? But yeah, so click on that, and like everything else, it just blows up into a nice big image. So you can read all the text. That's the back of the flyer. Not necessarily in the right order on here, but never mind, you get the gist of it. Some instructions for converting your pushers to 1p play. That's quite interesting, how to convert your penny around and your double decker onto 1p from old penny. What's this other bit? Operating instructions. So yeah. So there's all sorts of Brian's stuff on there. If anybody else again has got any stuff that we can have to fill in some gaps, or you know, any interesting old stuff like this, advertising flyers, instruction manuals, like instruction cards off the machines themselves you get sometimes, old photographs, adverts out of coin slot and things like that, anything like that would be great. Let me know you've got what you've got. Handy that if you could send me some nice high-res scans if you've got a scanner, or photographs, or if you've got none of the above, then get the stuff to me and I can do it and send it back to you like I'm doing with Paul's. I'll just go through and see what we need, and hopefully that will fill some good gaps in. So yeah, Paul did say he's got a whole file of Crompton's stuff somewhere, which is managed to mislay, which is slightly annoying. All the Crompton's pushers and other weird and wonderful stuff they made, which he misplaced when he moved house, but hopefully he'll come across it soon. So that's where we're up to on that one. And again, images if you've got any photographs of anything. Obviously it's sort of principally machines at the moment, but also enamel signs, anything like that, anything that we're dealing in that we haven't got images of. That'd be useful to fill in the pages. While we're over here, events, people have been saying, oh, what events are we going to do in the new year? Are we going to do some more? Yes is a short answer. Obviously it's depending on whatever silly nonsense Boris comes out with, and he doesn't seem to know, and whatever his missus tells him to, I suppose, next. The next planned one is Easter at Paul Mitchell's for the DVD release, which tickets are available with your, if you order the DVD. If you go to the homepage of the website, if you haven't seen it yet, there's a separate dedicated website, there's a link on here about the DVD, what we're doing, about the launch event, a little bit about me and filmmaking and stuff, work in telly, etc. And the pre-order page. So with the DVD you can order tickets to the launch event at Paul's, so you'll be able to go down there down near Clacton-on-Sea, see all his machines. They'll all be available for free play. We'll have a bit of a barbecue, a few drinks, a bit of a chinwag, a bit of a chat. This is all scheduled at the moment for Easter Sunday. Obviously, unless we have to move it for some daft rules, then we'll have to move it. But fingers crossed, that'll be Easter Sunday, and hopefully it'll be a nice day. So at the moment, tickets are only available for people who buy the DVD. Nearer the day, sort of a week or so before, we'll see how many tickets we've sold and what kind of capacities Paul's got there. Again, depending on the rules. If there's some crazy rule that we can only have a certain amount of people or whatever. But if we do have space for extra people, then we'll open up tickets. So you can buy a ticket without buying a DVD, if that makes sense. So tickets are prioritised for those who've bought the DVD. If there's space, then we'll open tickets up for other people as well. So with a DVD, you can either have just the DVD with your tickets. If you're feeling a bit flush and want to help support the project a bit more, it's an expensive thing to do. This has been properly produced. It's not run off on the computer. It'll be made properly in a DVD factory, if you like. So it'll play on your TV, your DVD players, your computer, anything. Properly packaged up, cellophane wrapped and everything. And that's not a cheap thing to do. So if you're feeling a bit flush and can support us a bit more, for a bit more money, if you like, you get a special thanks credit on the end of the DVD. And if you're feeling really flush, then you can have an associate producer credit, and that will also go on IMDb, on the IMDb website. So you can show off to your mates down the pub that you're now officially a film producer. So that's kind of the top level. This is a standard kind of way of crowdfunding lots of film projects, short films, if some of you have ever been into any of that. So that's what we're trying here. A couple of people have already had the top level associate producer credits. Thank you very much for those of you who bought those. I haven't put the names on the IMDb yet, but I will be doing in the new year. So yeah, I think we sold a couple of those, and we sold 3, I think, in the middle ones from memory, and some with and some without tickets on the sort of entry level tier. So it's kind of across the board really, which is nice. So that's where we're at with that. Why did I send you there in the first place? Can't remember. What were we talking about? Don't know. There was a reason, wasn't there? It's completely gone. Yes, we were talking about, yes, Paul's collection, yes, and flyers and stuff like that, machines. Yeah, I was saying that he's given me a big carry bag full of stuff to go through. Because there's all sorts of machines he's got there that I haven't got listed on the website yet. That obviously he's got either in his collection or got photographs of, if stuff he's come across in the years, perhaps bought and then sold on again. So that will fill in a lot of gaps. Particularly things like the Crompton section. I don't think we've got much under Cromptons, have we? Where are we? Crompton's 26 machines. Yeah, see, there's a few listed there that I haven't got pictures of. So hopefully there'll be some in Paul's carry bag full of pictures. And then, but there's loads of stuff that I haven't even got a listing of, so that should help expand the database out a good bit. How are we doing on wanted while we're over in this machine section? Let's have a look. I've looked at the wanteds lately. Oh, octopus. Someone's after an octopus. £1,500. I'm guessing that's the person who didn't buy the one that sold on eBay for about that. So if you've got one, there's not many around, but if you've got one now, is probably the time to sell it. Strike while the iron's hot, as they say. Big all wins we're still looking for. Yeah. The Riviera with Concord on the front. Remember, that's quite a nice machine. Brencos, more big all wins. Some of the nicer 30s Bandits. Yeah, we've got assortment of stuff really. So if you're having a sort out over the winter, if you've been in the shed to escape the family, and thinking, yeah, I might sell one or two and buy something different, and have a check on the wanted page just to see what people are after. And equally, of course, if you want to put a wanted ad up yourself, all you need to do is click on the menu on the wanted section, the little binoculars that look like a W if you're looking for something. And this is obviously on the sample account we're in. And place a new ad and just fill a little form in, and then the advert goes up in the appropriate section. These are just some little sample adverts I put on to show you how things work. But again, with these, you can same as anything else, change the price you're prepared to pay. Put up to £30, say, change it to 30. Then if we were to go and have a look in the books section, you'll see now the wanted advert for that Fairground art book is gone up to £30, etc. So there we are. Yeah, there's no books. There will be some books going on shortly. Still got to go and pick all John Carter's books up, which I was going to do before Christmas, and just didn't get around to. There's so much going on. But yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff coming up for sale very shortly. By the end of January, there should be a couple hundred lots on the site, I should think. As we open up these other sections, and then hopefully that level will sort of increase or stay at that kind of level. So rather than being as there's been the past year, on average, I don't know, 30 or 40 things for sale at a time, sort of rolling along, there'll be hopefully sort of 200 or 300 items for sale rolling along. The continuous thing. The other thing I was going to do on New Year's Eve was have a look at all the stuff we sold this year. Put some facts and figures together, because that's quite interesting, just to compare how things used to be in the good old days of being able to do proper auctions, and how the website's fared over the past however many months it's been. 7 months, is it, since May? And how we're doing. So that's something else to do on New Year's Eve. Let me just make a note of something else I just thought of I need to do tomorrow. Let me just note that, or I'll forget. That's something I've got to contact tomorrow for something that just come to mind. Do that in the morning. Right, that should do that. Okay, sorry about that. Just had to make a note of that while I remembered. Yeah. So there we go. And I've got another little addition which will be quite fun to go to the website, which I won't tell you about just yet because I'm still working on how exactly it's going to work. But it'll be quite good, I think. If I can get it planned out properly by New Year's Eve, then I'll tell you in that video what we're going to do with that. But yeah. Anybody got any questions, comments, bright ideas, moans and groans, aches and pains? Then let me know below. Somebody asked me last week about the sort of forum things as well, and yes, that's something else that's on the project list to do as soon as I get around to it. As I want to clear the kind of the backlog of stuff that's built up over the past couple of months, really, and get it all online, because there's lots of fairground stuff here, there's all the horror stuff here, as well as the usual, lots of spares, lots of coins, heaps of books, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, busy few weeks. But yeah, now I've done a few things in the background to bring these other sections online. You'll see them appear over the next week or so. And then I'm going to do something. I've got to figure out what to do with this menu bar at the top as well, because there's going to be lots more buttons. There'll be toys, there'll be circus, there'll be Americana, and so on and so on and so on. And you can notice so many buttons up here. So maybe I have to change to a sort of a drop-down menu thing, or I thought I might do it so it's editable to your preferences. So perhaps it shows mean, what have we got on here now? There's usually sort of 7 buttons. It's less if you're on a mobile, obviously, but 4 or 5 buttons or something that you can change. So you could have your favourite sections, if you like, always visible. So they're just a single click away. And then like a drop-down menu for the sections that you're not so interested in or don't need to visit so often. So I'll perhaps try and do something like that. It's actually a lot more programmed than it sounds, because it means storing everybody's individual preferences and then making this whole menu here, you know, show differently depending who's logged in and so on and so forth. But that's something I could do. It's all about, you know, trying to make the website work as best for you. Yeah, I'll work on that. So chances are there'll be probably a few more buttons on here first, and then once it gets unmanageable, then I'll program the customizable thing in somehow or other, so you can make it to fit your particular interests. So that's where we're at with that. What other things were there I've been doing or thinking about? Can't remember. Oh, we were talking about events, weren't we? Yes, I was saying the events. The Easter one for the DVD launch. And then we'll try and do some other things as well if we can find some places to meet up and down the country. So if anybody's got any ideas, if anybody's got a suitable venue, either you know, sort of a public place like a museum or a collection or a attraction of some kind, then great. If you happen to own one or work at one or whatever, that we can all meet up at, that would be good. Or if you're keen and got a private collection, you've got the space and you don't mind people traipsing around your games room at home, something we don't tend to do so much over here. It's quite a big thing in America. And people often, if there's an auction on or an event of some sort in America, then collectors are relatively local to wherever that auction is will open up their you know, their games room or whatever, and everyone kind of piles in and has a bit of a party. That's not a thing that we tend to do over here. But yeah, if anybody fancies it, then let me know, get in touch and we'll see what we can organise. But ideally looking for different spots around the country, so somewhere sort of southwest-ish, west-ish, somewhere north, east and west. Somewhere sort of Wales or somewhere. Is anything down there? Collectors all over the UK. They tend to be, it does tend to be weighted toward the southeast, just because that's where most people are, of course, in the country. But there are collectors all over the country. And obviously, if you're up in Northumberland or somewhere, then coming down to the southeast is a hell of a long way to come. Whereas if we can find somewhere up that way, we can perhaps round a few people up, and some of us southerners might feel brave enough to travel a couple of hours up north and see what it's all about. So yeah, get in touch if you fancy that, or you can think of anywhere. And we'll try and organise something. Yeah, so anybody, David says all sounds good, marvellous. If anyone's got anything to add, then let me know below. If not, then I'll probably go and do something useful. Rummage in this big box of coins and see what ones we've got to add on. So that's going to be tomorrow's project, and I will make a start on the spares hopefully as well tomorrow. I bought a nice LED flat light thing, really bright, which makes photographing spares a lot easier rather than to cut them all out. So to cut all the background out, so I put two of my very bright filming lights and this very bright white light box underneath, then stick a spare part on it, and stop the camera right down, and then yeah, it kind of obliterates everything out in the background out in white. It makes it much easier to and quicker to photograph the spare parts, so they're on a nice clean background. Because when you're trying to cut out a bit, it's a complicated shape, it takes a while. So we'll make a start on those tomorrow as well, hopefully. What day is it today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I might do another video tomorrow night. I might do one each night, Wednesday, Thursday. Just to keep people posted where we're up to, because there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things whizzing around in my poor adult brain. And it's just a good way to update you really what's going on and get feedback from people. So yeah. Something else I was going to say. I don't know what it was. DVDs we've done. New listings. Events. Yeah, New Year's Eve. Bit of a late night chinwag. See the new year in. If I can get the Big Ben ding dongs up on the feeding, I must be able to do that somehow. I have to have a fiddle around with things. I'll work on that. For those of you who are not going to go out and about. So there we are. So I think that's probably about it for this evening. I will, if no one needs to know anything, or got any suggestions, comments, or whatever, then I'll probably sign off in a tick and go and have another cup of tea and make myself some notes for tomorrow. And I'll have a think if anybody's got any ideas of any other sort of things we can natter about on New Year's Eve to pass away a couple of hours, then let me know. Or if we've got any interesting pictures or anything we can look at. Get them to me, email me or something, and we'll see if we can have a good old chinwag on New Year's Eve. Peter says New Year's Eve sounds good. Yeah, we'll be if I can think of enough things to keep it going for a couple of hours or 3 hours or whatever. My tea won't last that long though, will it? That's the problem. Might have to resort to a cider or two as it's New Year's Eve. That could be a good idea. Yeah. Rightio then. Well, I think that's probably about it then. So I will sign off and we'll catch up again possibly tomorrow night. Just keep an eye on the website. I'll still email out as well, let you know what's going on. David said, can I just say, when we send a message in, could put a time next to it as when it arrives and when you look. You have moved it on to something else. Do you mean when you send a message on YouTube? Yeah, I think there's a bit of a delay is the problem. I do try and keep an eye on it. That's why I'm often not, instead of looking at the camera, as it were, I'm looking down here, looking at the screen to see what's popping up. This message on the website are all timed. Oh, I've not got any on here, but any of these things are always timed and dated. But on YouTube, yeah, I don't know if there's an option to do that. So, yeah, so this one from Peter has just arrived. I was pondering Paul moving house with his machines, but that was fun. So it's literally just arrived about a second before I read it out, but I got a feeling Peter probably sent it about 2 minutes ago. There was just a delay in the system of it coming through YouTube and coming out my end. I think they're sort of checked for spam and stuff as well on the way through, so it probably takes a second or two for all that to happen before the message comes out my end, as it were. Then there's a delay between me doing it and it getting back to you the other end again. Yeah, Paul, yeah, a lot of his machines in the meantime went to his mate Gaz, who a lot of you probably know as well. And was sort of stored temporarily in his, he's got a big games room as well. And yeah, various friends' garages and lockups and all sorts, I think. Just for somewhere to put it all. It is a lot of stuff to shift. Especially when they're big, bulky machines. It's not so bad if you've got, you know, Allwins and bands and things you can kind of stack up. And you can slot underneath a piece of furniture, or, you know, you can put Allwins flat on the back under your bed or something, can't you? And things like that. But when you've got pushers and pinball machines and big, chunky machines, take 2 people to move in a van, that's a lot of stuff to shift. David says, but so, see, David, your message just arrived as I'm reading it out now. So, but sometimes you can't remember what my comments are for. That can be a problem if there's 2 or 3 people commenting all at the same time. I'll have to get better at it, won't I? That's a problem. Just admit I'm a bit crap at YouTube. Peter says, so Peter actually just arrived. Seems about a minute delay to me. Yeah, that's probably not too bad then. That's why I always kind of leave it at the bit. I say, has anybody else got anything to say? Because I know there's kind of, if I just stop now, as I say now, somebody's probably typing the message. So I do try and leave it a couple of minutes and hang out before I turn off, in case anybody needs to know anything. Especially when it's a Sunday night and stuff is selling, because a lot of people put their offers in the last minute. If anyone's got a last minute question about something that's selling, they need to know some more information, then you know, I don't like to cut off before people have had the chance to ask what they need to ask. But it's about as good as we've got at the moment. I don't know if there's any other. There's other video services like Vimeo, which is, you get a better quality video out of it really, but I don't think they've got like this live chat thing. It's not really structured the same way as YouTube is. So it's a bit tricky, as you know, with all the problems there are with YouTube, it is probably, and I hate to say this, about the best for this kind of thing. Just because of the way it's set up and it works. So we have to kind of put up with this slight delay, unfortunately. But yeah, there we are. I did talk about Paul and his arcade in the big interview I did with him last week. You know, we did do a bit there, talk about actual building that big arcade and some of the problems with it, and you know, what it cost, all that kind of thing. David says, I'm not complaining, it's just you have a puzzled face. I'm often very puzzled. Pete says, it gets confusing sometimes if there are a number of threads, so to speak. Yes, it can do, can't it? That's a problem. Suddenly, you know, some Some Sundays are a bit busier than others. I don't know why, just when more people are spare, I suppose, or there's not anything good on telly or whatever. And it'll be quiet for a few minutes, and then 3 people will start off on 3 different conversations all at the same time. And yeah, that can get a bit confusing. But it's all part of the fun, isn't it? All part of the fun. Hopefully we can round up a few people for New Year's Eve. I don't know, everybody might be going out. I've no idea, but we'll try. A couple of people have said they would quite like to do something, so there's obviously a few people not going out and about. So yeah, again, I don't think there'll be anything much on the television to watch. There's been bugger all over Christmas. I've flicked through a few times, trying to find something interesting to see, and there's absolute crap. I think the only thing any good worth watching have been carry-on films, which I must have seen all of them 100 times each, I should think. But they're still quite funny. I'm surprised they're allowed to show them these days, really. And even some Benny Hill I found, would you believe? Very non-PC, excellent. I'm a fan of non-PC. Dave says, because I'm not the fastest finger in the West. It's all right, nor am I. We'll wait, there's no rush, we've got all night. Peter, obviously this is home for the confused collector. I like that, yes. We're all a bit confused. We all spend daft amounts of money on cranky old stuff at the end of the day. I mean, we're all a bit confused, aren't we, really? When you think about it. You know, if you ever try and apply logic to collecting, we realise we're all utterly insane, really. But it's good fun, isn't it? You've got us insane, like spending all our money on cranky old slot machines or fairground stuff or old signs or old whatever. And we're apparently the odd ones. And then the sensible people spend all their money on beer and fags and haven't got anything to show for it other than lung disease and liver disease. So I'm not sure which of us are the craziest. I think I'll stick with my version of craziness. David says, we'll take that as a compliment. Yeah. If you're like me, take any compliment you can get, because you probably don't get many. I don't either. Any compliment's a good compliment. Peter says the others who are mad. I think you're right. I think you're right, yeah. Although it does become a problem when you collect big, heavy things, like you were saying about Paul moving house. If you collect little things, if you collect stamps, great, isn't it? You can have your whole collection in 2 albums on your arm. When you collect slot machines, it's a problem. When you collect fairground stuff, like I also collect, and you've got a whole hoopla stalls and side stalls and rides and things, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I just need to build a nice big shed, as big as Paul's or bigger, ideally. Put all my stuff in. And then I can make a film about that then. Which is the one question people get asking me, why aren't you filming your collection first? I'm like, well, I can't actually get to my collection. This is the problem. Mine is like quite a few other collectors I know. It's just crammed in all over the place. So yeah, hopefully, you know, Paul's thing will be a bit of an inspiration to some of us to get our acts together and yeah, I could sort of sell half of my collection and use the money to build a building to put the other half in. That's probably the sensible thing to do. So I might have to do that. It's a bit like spending all your money on a safe, isn't it, really? And then not having any money to put in your safe when you bought it. But yeah, there's probably a balancing point of how much stuff I can sell and how much a building would cost, and try and find that happy medium. It's just so interesting. It is interesting. Yeah. It's not normal to have 5 jukeboxes and 3 pinballs, etc., etc. in the bungalow. Oh, it's perfectly normal. Absolutely normal. But it's interesting. The actual phenomenon of collecting interests me a hell of a lot. It always has done. And it's a very strange thing. If you look into it, it's a sign of intelligence. You might not think you're very intelligent if you're a collector, but you are. It's a very common thing. Intelligent people collect stuff. It's also an autistic thing. Lots of collectors are somewhere along the autistic spectrum. And it's all that thing about getting sets of things and putting things in order and so on and so on. There's a difference between collecting, like hopefully all of us do collect things. Most of us collect with some kind of methodology, get the word out, i.e. we collect all of a certain type of slot machine, or all enamel signs relating to beers, or all fairground carving or something. Collectors, proper collectors, collect a set of something, or an era of something, or a or the other way, an actual variety of something. They try and get one of each, and so on and so on. Whereas hoarders just have everything. Hoarding is something completely different. But hoarding, there's no rhyme nor reason to it. My own collection of machines, for example, all mine are almost all 20s and 30s machines. If you look at Paul's collection, there's almost all 60s stuff, late 50s through to the 60s. As you say, some people collect jukeboxes. And again, they'll perhaps collect either all Wurlitzers, or they'll collect across a period. So they'll want a very early one, a very early 78 player, and they want the classic 45 players and so on. One for the Golden Age, one for the Silver Age, and so on. Maybe one of each different major make. So there's always some kind of reasoning, some kind of what's the word? Method to the madness, if you like. And that is a fascinating subject. There's not a great deal of research done on it, really. It would be one of those things. If I was to go to university, that's the thing I'd write a paper on, I think, would be collecting. Peter says, I've had it then. My son is autistic too. Well, there we are, yeah. My nephew is. He loves my slot machines. Yeah. And he collects things. He's 9 now. He's into Pokemon cards and all these funny little plastic figures and things. And again, there's mind-boggling knowledge on them. He knows everything about them. Incredible. So always thousands of these little Pokemon characters. I don't understand it, but he knows every one and all their characteristics and all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's a fascinating subject. It really is. David said, hope so. I'm moving into a bungalow in a few weeks with over 30 machines. Well, excellent. There you go. The beauty with a bungalow, or we haven't got to take any upstairs. Marvellous. And you see, starting afresh, you can prioritise the machines, can't you? You can move the machines in first, get them all looking lovely, and then worry about where to put boring stuff like furniture and beds and dining tables and stuff. That's all kind of secondary, isn't it? Get the machines in first, get them nicely displayed. And then, haven't got space for a dining table, well, you have your beans on toast on your pinball machine, can't you? What's the problem? But yeah, the whole collecting thing is really fascinating. That's why I said with these DVDs, and I say plural because there's lots of other collectors I'd like to go and film as well. Like I said from the start, that's what I want to do more than just filming a row of each machines. This is a pinball machine, this is a pusher, this is a one-arm bandit, blah blah blah. You know, I'm much more interested. I spent a whole day talking to Paul about, you know, his first memory of a machine, what got him into machines in particular, you know, all the whys and the wherefores, all the tales and things, why you become a collector, and so on. And hopefully you'll all find that quite interesting. And along the way, obviously, we talk about individual machines as they kind of crop up in the conversation, if that makes sense. So there will be a lot of details on the machines themselves, but rather than just that dry walkthrough, you know, you've seen his collection, we could literally start at one in his arcade and say, right, this is a 1958 pinball machine, this one's 1959 pinball machine, this is 1960 pinball machine, and so on, all the way along these line of pinball machines. It would be dull as hell. You know, much more interesting is him buying a machine, not being able to fix it, and the whole story, which I won't spoil, as to how he's now ended up with 33 of them, all fully restored, all working perfectly. Quite an amazing collection. So yeah. But that, you know, hopefully over a few films, these kind of, what would you call it, traits of collecting will kind of emerge, and you'll find it interesting. We'll probably all learn something. You kind of learn stuff about yourself, don't you, that you haven't realised in the past, or why you collect things in the way that you do. David says, still got shrapnel from the war. Not embedded in your body, I hope. I'm hoping you mean bits you collected out in the field or something. So when I worked in, when I left school, my first job was working 10 Downing Street when I was apprentice decorator. It was one of the very first jobs I worked on. And if you remember back in the 80s, there was there was bombings in Downing Street. There was a briefcase bomb in Downing Street itself, and then there was a mortar fired over the back wall into the back garden of 10 Downing Street. When does collecting become hoarding? I'll talk about that in a minute. And the mortar or the bomb or whatever it was, which was thrown over into the back garden of number 10. When we were working there, you could see in the grass where they'd obviously made a crater and they'd filled it in and returfed it, and you could see the different colour in the grass looking out the window of number 10 when we were working there. And in the next year, we worked in the cabinet office, and the cabinet office in number 10 it was all interconnected inside. You can walk from one to the other inside. So from Downing Street, you can walk internally to the cabinet office, which is actually on Whitehall itself. And the big room in there, conference room A, occasionally, you don't very often see it on telly, very occasionally. But all the walls were lined with like green silk fabric, and there was holes in it where the shrapnel from this bomb had gone through. And there were still bits of shrapnel stuck in the cornice when we were painting the cornice and regilding it all. And there was a piece lodged in a clock. Very lovely clock, and it stopped the clock at whatever time it was the bomb went off. I can't remember, like 3:30 in the afternoon or whenever it was. I can't remember the time. And they'd left it there, lodged in this clock, and they'd left the clock broken, as it were, as a kind of I don't know, just sort of permanent kind of reminder and whatnot. Interesting, kind of spooky. You know, we were working there when all this was going on. And we got locked in one day. There was a big bomb scare thing. And they completely locked down Downing Street, and we were all locked in, all the workers. We didn't get out till about 8 o'clock that night or something. I think they let us out. Strange, really spooky place to work. Fascinating. Somewhere most people never get to go. But yeah, all the security protocols and stuff. And yeah, lots of things I'm not allowed to tell you. I had to sign the Official Secrets Act. So there's all sorts of things I could tell you, but I'm not allowed to because I get arrested. Anyway, Peter says, when does collecting become hoarding? I think the answer to that one is when you've got no method to the madness of collecting anymore. When you just buy everything for the sake of it. And some collectors kind of start off that way. Because often when you start collecting something, you perhaps think the stuff is scarcer than it is, and you're very keen, you're very enthusiastic to get stuff. So if we're talking about slot machines, which is what we're all talking about, I think, so we'll talk about slot machines. I used to see people come to the auctions, they'd get into them, and they'd come auction after auction after auction, they'd buy anything, usually the cheaper stuff, because they could get more of it. And then after a couple of years, they kind of mature, and then they become a collector. Because they start realising perhaps what they really like is one-arm bandits. So they then sell all the other junk they've bought, all the dodgy wall machines and badly restored bits of rubbish. Perhaps buy a nice bandit, and then they'll buy another nice bandit, and then probably sell their 2 or 3 crappy bandits they bought 3 or 4 years ago, and buy another nice bandit. And then before long, after a few years, they've got a nice proper collection. And so that's kind of the answer, because then there's some method to the madness. They've decided that they want to collect bandits. They perhaps like Mills bandits, or they like Jennings bandits, or they like 1930s bandits, or whatever the case may be. So that's when they become a collector rather than just a hoarder. I don't know if people ever go the other way around. I guess perhaps some people do. Yeah, I've not known it. But that is this thing of collecting has a purpose and a method and yeah, like I was talking to Paul about, you know, what things he's still looking for. And as a collector, you're very rarely finished because you're always looking for something to add to the collection, because there's always something you've got missing, or perhaps something that's not a particularly good example, you're trying to find a better one. I don't know of any collectors that are finished. That makes sense. I don't think a collection's ever finished. Unless you're talking about those plates you buy off the back of the Sunday Times magazine or something. The collector's plates. But collecting as we understand it, you know. The stuff, as I was saying to Paul, you know, the stuff that he'd like to buy and don't even know if it exists anymore. You perhaps got photographs of it, or an advert in a magazine from in the 60s or something. Don't know if there's any surviving, don't know of any that's surviving, but you just hope somewhere there might be one in the back of an arcade or a shed or a lock-up somewhere. And I'm the same with my stuff, with my British manufacturing company machines is my particular, I suppose, is probably the thing I collect the most. And I can't even get to mine. I could fill a lot of the pictures in. I mean, I've got 100 listed here. A lot of these machines have not got a picture on. I do actually own. That's how I know they exist. I've got a Bell Bagatelle. I've got a Beetle. I think so. I've got Bar 1. Got Butterfly. Got Billiards. What else have I got along here? Darts. Have I got darts? No, I haven't got darts. I'd like darts. I know where it is. No, I don't know where it is. I know it exists. I don't know where it is at the moment. Dodgem I know exists. I don't know where it is. Double loops I've got. Yeah. First pop, I haven't got a picture of it. I don't think one exists. Gypsy Postman, that sounds a nice one. Don't know about that one. Looping the Falls I've got. Lucky Heart I know exists. I don't own it. I don't know where it is. Miniature Cricket again, I know it exists. I've got a photograph of it somewhere. I don't know where it is at the moment. I don't own it, unfortunately. One of the best I've got. Over the Alps I've got. Over the Falls I've got. Over the Hurdles I've got. Pin Royal I've got. Shooting the Moon I've got. Silver Cup, School Deluxe Darts I've got the top of it. I know the bottom exists, but I don't know where it is at the moment. Stars and Stripes I've got. So a lot of the Machine Twins I've got. 2-in-1 I've got. Up the Steps, Upright Bagatelle, Win Easy, yeah. So, from my own personal collection, I'd like to get all the British Manufacturing Company machines, like a lot of people want to get all the Brian's machines or whatever. I've got a lot of them, 30 or 40 of them probably. There's other ones I know exist, and I either know where they are, or I know they do exist because they've been through an auction years ago, or I've known it be in someone's collection. Might not know where they are at the moment, but I know they're out there somewhere. And other stuff, I don't know if it exists or not. Either you've got a photograph of it, or you've got a listing from an old advert or something, so we know a machine was made called something. But who knows if it exists? And that's the fun to me of collecting. That's what it's all about. Just trying to gather all this stuff up, even just to see a picture of it or a reference to it somewhere, an old advert, anything. It's gold dust, So yeah, that's what collecting is about to me. I hope you've not got woodworm as well. Woodworm can be a problem. I haven't got any at the moment, I don't think. I moved all my stuff, well, not all of it, a lot of it, about a year ago and checked it all. There was a couple of bits that got treated again because I wasn't too sure. It looked like there might have been some fresh woodworm in it. But hopefully it's all right. Weary Willy Club sounds like a bit of a strange one. Yeah, I don't know what that is. No idea. But it sounds interesting, doesn't it? That's the thing, they come up with some strange names for things. You know what they were. Some are pretty obvious. Over the Hurdles, they're quite fun. These are two-player wall machines, big wall machines. 2 players with giant balls in them. And you have to get them over the hurdles, over the little fences to get into the cup to win. So they're quite nice. We've got a couple of sort of different versions of that one. Yeah, what's the one with 2-in-1? These are double all wins, 2-in-1 and twins. One is a side-by-side all wins, and there's one above the other all win. I've got both. The one above the other is there's Shooting the Moon, but I'm not sure that is the right name for it, because I've got one that better suits Shooting the Moon. I think the names might have got mixed up. The top flasher swapped sometime in the years. But I've got one that's 2 all wins above each other in one cabinet. So you play the bottom one first, which I think is like an normal row of like a normal row of all win cups. And if you get in the win in the bottom one, the ball then comes back out onto the lower track, which you fire the same trigger again, then fires it into the upper circle, and you have to get it into a moon-shaped cup. This is not on the way to the moon or something. And there's an earlier version of the same machine made by somebody else. I'm not sure who made it, which I've also got. It used to be in John Morley's collection, which I bought. I've probably got a picture of that. When we sold John Morley's collection off. What would that be under? Let's see, all-wind type, double all-wind type. Yeah, there somewhere, won't it? Double all-wind types. Go on website, it's going slow. I haven't got a picture of it. It's interesting. Oh, this one I own as well. This is a good one, the Dual Racer. It's a good machine. There's two of those. This one, oh, this is actually my one. I bought this one in the auction. There's one other one of those around. As far as we know, unless anybody else has got one. But it's a strange, you know, from Dual, if you just had the name Dual Racer, you wouldn't guess it was that kind of machine, would you? This one, you put your penny in, you actually fire the penny round the first one, the right hand playfield, and if your penny lands in one of the top cups, that then releases the ball to play in the left hand all-win, which is like a traditional all-win. And then if you get the ball in the cup, then you can turn the handle, then you get the penny, which comes out under, you turn the handle on the extreme left of the machine, and the penny comes out under the right hand all-win slot on all-win playfield. Great machine. An awful lot of effort to get your penny back. But that's kind of why it appeals to me, really. There's so much machine, so much effort on a great big thing, all of that just to get your penny back. Yeah, good fun. Yeah, two in one. I can't remember if I own both of those. I definitely got one of them. And the one above the other one is, I haven't got listed for some strange reason. Unknown type, have I got it under there? Let's see. I'm trying to find the other double all-win, the John Morley one, War Machines. All-win type, capture type, coin drop, double all-win type. Other type, upright bagatelle type, is it under there? I might have filed it under the wrong section somewhere. No, it's not under there. Other type. Perhaps it's down here somewhere. I need to have a look at this page sometimes. Lots of catches that need putting in the right section. Bum, 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 bum. Nope, it's not there either. David says, well, that's good. The dual one, in case you've moved on. Yes, it is a great machine. I tried to buy the other one years ago. The guy who owns it won't sell it. So, but eventually I got one. Again, that's the other thing about collecting. If you've got the patience, you have to have a lot of patience as a collector. I'm trying to find this machine. I can't find it. Flashing lights, coin drop type, catcher type. Where have I put it? Somebody's got lost somewhere. This is another thing that BMCO copied. So BMCO made a machine called the Top Hat, a big giant all-win with a big wooden ball in it, and a big brass top hat about 3 inches across. You move from side to side to try and catch the ball in. It's essentially a copy of this little machine, which my copyright strap is right across where the little top hat is. But sweet little machine. This is my machine. fire the ball up, rattles down the pins, and you move the little top hat from side to side to try and catch the ball in it. Yeah. So that was come out in about 1915-ish, and the BMCO one was about 15 years later. Just copied the idea of it. I can't understand why I can't find that big machine I'm looking for. It's very odd. It got lost in the website somewhere. It's probably randomly somewhere on a One-Armed Bandit page or something that no one's spotted yet. Every now and again I find odd things like that where they're just... When I first, because there was so many, because there was thousands and thousands and thousands of auction results to go through. Initially it was done with a script, with a program to try and put everything in the right places. Some of it of course didn't work because of spelling mistakes or whatever. Things got filed under the wrong category, and gradually I spot them, or people let me know something's in the wrong place, and we get to correct them. No, definitely can't see it under there either. That's very odd. Maybe it's under unknown. I've already looked under unknown type. I think I did. Yeah, it's not there. I don't know. I'm going to make a note for myself, try and find the machine. I used to with my pencil hadn't died on me. That's a nuisance. Also another pen here somewhere. Got everything on my desk apart from a pen. How useful is that? Not very. Oh well, I shan't make a note. I'll try and remember. Anyway, there we are. I'm rambling on about stuff. But yes, it's all about the joys of collecting, isn't it? Why we do what we do, who knows? We're all a bit mad, basically. But I think we're a bit mad in quite a good way. So mad I can't find a pen. There we are. Right, I think that's probably about it, isn't it? Because what's the time? It's 9:20. Good grief. So I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and carry on tomorrow. I'll get these other loads, all these coins listed tomorrow, and hopefully make a start on the spares. I might do another video tomorrow night. I'll see. If anyone's bored, if you're not back at work yet or whatever, tune in. And I'll think as well about Friday night, New Year's Eve, what we can chat about then. If anyone's got any ideas, let me know. Send me a message or email or text me or ring me or something, and we'll go from there. Right, I think that's it then. So I'll just put in here, anyone tuned in late, let me put a little comment on here, because people sometimes just scroll through the comments and see what we've been talking about. We'll do a New Year's Eve special live stream. Probably another one or two in season 2. I'll just pop that in there for anybody. Oh, David just said something. Good chat tonight. Well, there you go. I do try. Yes. Right, so I think that's it. Have a jolly evening, whatever you're doing. And a jolly day tomorrow. I should be photographing loads more coins, spare parts and all that stuff. Getting that up. And yeah, we'll perhaps catch up tomorrow night. It's handy. It means I stop for an hour and actually sit down and do something other than everything else I'm usually doing. So it's quite good for me as well. Right, that's it then. So nighty night, catch up possibly tomorrow, definitely Friday night if not before. Have a jolly one, and we'll see you then. And yeah, we'll do some kind of raffle or something. Got a scotch or 2 or 3 or something, I don't know, I'll have a look. And some membership things and anything else. See what else I can find to give away. And have a jolly old time, hopefully. Right, that's it then. Nighty night all. Catch up soon. Toodaloo. Night Peter, night David, and whoever else is watching. I don't know, somebody is. Catch up soon. Bye.